I just played a little bit of it last night. Not a whole lot. Embargo's listed as new. But it does, I will say this, it does get punchy.
Yeah, that was one thing about that. The Monster Love, it pretty much all touches. Like, you use the controller, but it's made.
So like Daniel, right? Not Daniel.
Correct.
Okay. Have you a little bit about yourself? Talk about what you're reading, listening to, The Good Road?
I think you might.
Okay. Good evening, nerds. How you doing tonight on this fine Wednesday evening? I'm your host, George, here with my co-host, Daniel. Daniel, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself?
Myself, I'm an Army veteran,
Good evening,
11
nerds.
Bravo
How you
infantryman.
doing tonight on
You
this
don't know.
fine Wednesday evening?
I've been part of Alpha Nerds pretty much from the beginning. I've followed John for a long time. I was actually in the same unit, the 101st Airborne, as he was back around the same time, actually. So since then, I'm just a big nerd. I've been gaming since the Atari 2600, actually. I quit to date myself a little bit. But I've played everything you could think of pretty much, well, mainly old school stuff. And then for newer stuff, I'm more into RPGs like Skyrim and, Diablo and Fallout series, all that. But other than that, I also have been on all consoles, PC. But then, yeah, I'm just a big nerd, just like everybody else.
Right on. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So what are you playing, reading, and watching these days?
Well, currently I am in the Fallout 76 beta. I've been playing that. I started playing it. I got in on the original stress test before the beta. Really loving it. Go into that more later. Well, it's funny. I actually just started playing Battlefield 1 because, well, it was free on Xbox for gold, and found out I really love it. It's a lot of fun. I haven't played too many other Battlefields before. I was more of a Call of Duty guy.
Yeah.
And then the other game I'm playing right now, it's the Amnesia Collection, which just came to Xbox, and I'm doing a review on it, which is a little outside my repertoire with the survival horror, but it's a good game. It's interesting. But like I said, I'll be reviewing that. As far as watching, well, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm a little old, so I get into like the old like NCIS. I watch on Netflix like constantly, trying to get caught up really. And then I started the new show. It's called Rookie. It's the one with Nathan Fillion, who was in Castle and in Firefly. And then I'm a huge Walking Dead fan as well, which that this past episode really changed things up. I'm really excited to see how that's going. As far as reading, I've been reading about mission trips. Actually, there's a couple books I'm reading that are about short-term mission trip to go to different countries, help out some people, stuff like that.
That's cool.
But yeah,
That's cool.
That's about it.
So you mentioned The Walking Dead. I don't know if you heard me talk about it, but I talked about it on the last episode with regards to zombie fiction and whatnot. I don't like the story. I just want really outrageous gore. I want explosions, chainsaws.
Have you have you not watched Walking Dead?
I watched the first season and it just didn't do it for me.
Okay, I will tell you this, it got so, I mean, the gore factor in it is ridiculous now. Um, yeah, I'm surprised they get away with half of the stuff they do on being on regular cable.
Hmm.
Uh, but as far as the story and stuff goes, I understand what you mean. You know, you're looking more for an action oriented. This is more about a character study.
Yeah.
You know, how people react and things like that. So I can understand how, you know, some people might not enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, a couple buddies I play PlayStation with,
Mhm.
one of them is big on it. We always ask him how the latest episode of Conversation was. 'Cause that's what we call it. Because we started that, it was probably around like season 3 or 4 when it was just really heavy dialogue. We're like, yeah, I was Conversation
Oh,
last night.
yeah. Yeah, there have been a couple times where I think they tried to build the story almost a little too much and didn't put enough of the action and just, you know, like you said, the gore and, you know, chainsaws and stuff like that in it. Although they're shoot, I don't even know that I've seen a chainsaw in it, honestly. No, I mean you got like your katanas and, you know, all sorts of guns and other really cool stuff, but hatchets, lots of hatchets.
Right on. All right, so currently I'm playing quite a few games. Diablo 3, Black Ops 4 on PlayStation, Moonlighter on PlayStation, which if you haven't checked it out, is a really awesome top-down action adventure, reminiscent of A Link to the Past. The
Mhm.
dungeons are procedurally generated, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's beautifully designed. I really like the art style. I still need to play the Spider-Man DLC. Um, I just finished the third season of The Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime. And it's a slow burn. I don't know.
It's one of those that I really wasn't sure about. So I just and honestly, I just don't have enough time for another series right now. So
Yeah,
I decided not to even worry about it. Plus, I don't have Amazon Prime currently, so yeah,
fair
there's
enough.
that.
Yeah, and oh, Castlevania. I'm watching the new Castlevania
Oh,
show.
nice. How is
Uh,
that?
It's good. Did you see the first season?
No, no, I've heard really good things about the first season.
Yeah, it was good. And it's only four like 22-minute episodes.
Oh,
You
that's
can
it. Oh,
watch it
shoot,
quick.
yeah.
And season 2, I think, is 10 episodes, 8 or 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm on episode 3. But yeah, I
Mhm.
like it. They got some more. Uh, Surprising how many big name actors are in there, and a lot of
Yeah.
them were in The Hobbit,
Oh,
or a
nice.
couple of them, anyways. Um, but yeah, I like it. It's good. And I just started playing Townsman on Switch, and I can talk more
Yeah.
about that tomorrow. But so we'll leave that for a later time. All right, let's get into our main topic for the night: cross-platform play.
Oh yeah, such a loaded topic there.
Yeah, it. I didn't think it would ever happen for anything.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Yeah.
and when I say that, I mean even with PC and Xbox,
Mhm.
or PC and PlayStation. So when
I
that first started happening, that surprised me. Go ahead.
I saw the Xbox and PC happening a while back, just because you know Microsoft, you know, get
Yeah,
them together, and it makes sense for them because they make money whether the games are getting bought on PC or Xbox. So if they can get more people to play it and to get more people to play it, you're going to have, you know, all those that want to play with their friends and maybe their friends can't afford to build a nice high-end PC, so they get it on Xbox and then they can all play together. So that
yeah.
that I saw. But yeah, everything else I never saw Nintendo or Sony all of them grouping up. I never thought it was going to happen. If it
Well,
go ahead.
and Nintendo was the real surprise there,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
online play has never really been a big component of Nintendo's stuff.
Right.
The Switch has started to change that, which to me is a surprise because about half the population plays it in handheld, which
Yes.
means, are they on the go? Are they on a subway, the bus?
Right.
So that's surprising. But with Fortnite's popularity, it kind of
Mhm.
forced the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point over the summer, I read they were making $20 million a day on
Right.
Fortnite. So
It's ridiculous. Yeah, that game and in some ways, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've played Fortnite. It's enjoyable. I understand the appeal to it. but it is, it's a free to play game, and so many games are going that way to make the money through the microtransactions and stuff like that, which that's a whole nother topic we can get
Yeah.
into. But the popularity of Fortnite, it makes sense, especially with younger gamers. It gets them into that game easily, and then just like with the cross play now being put into it, it's opening up such a huge group that wouldn't have played before because you know they could only like say their family just wants one console, and so a lot of families, a lot of parents don't want their younger kids to have an Xbox or PlayStation because of a lot of the games are more adult oriented. So then they get the Switch. Well, now
Yeah.
they throw that on there. It just makes sense then to have all of it connected like that.
And now you can even play it on your phone,
Well, true, yeah, yeah.
which is crazy.
It's ridiculous what they can do now.
Yeah. Now, I believe Rocket League on Switch is crossplay with Xbox as well.
I believe you are
Cross-platform.
correct. Yeah, I
And
think
Minecraft as well. And
is
what's
it
interesting about the Minecraft is I think, and if anyone knows, they can correct me. I think you get the Mario skins now on Xbox on Minecraft.
the Mario skin is?
The Mario skins, yeah, I believe so. I know
That's
they're on the Switch version, but I think they're on the Xbox version now too.
that would really surprise me that Nintendo would allow something that's so so Nintendo to
Mhm.
go over and be allowed to be used on there. That would surprise me.
I could be mistaken. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Right. But yeah,
Did you notice over the summer when the crossplay started between the Switch and the Xbox, they were trolling PlayStation a lot,
oh yeah.
especially on Twitter.
Yes. It is hilarious, and I loved it. I loved it for one big reason. It was showing Sony what they were missing out on. I mean,
Yeah.
you think about how much more people are going to be willing to buy a certain console um, based based solely on the games that they uh, the, the only on that console. Like
Exclusives.
what's that?
The exclusives.
Exclusives, yeah. Why couldn't I think of that? Anyways, brain fart. But anyway, so
Oh,
like, all right, PlayStation, God of War, Xbox, Halo, these, were always big sell points, but they weren't the only thing. You have to look at who's got the friends. If Xbox has all the people playing on it, well, most people are going to focus on that before they focus on the exclusives
mhm.
because they want to play with their friends.
Yeah.
So then, right there, Sony's losing out because that person might be like, "Man, I'm not a fan of Halo, but and I love God of War or whatever, exclusive, but I get to play God of War. It's a single player and everything is great. But then I want to play with my friends on, Fortnite or, Call of Duty or whatever.
Yep. FIFA and
So,
Madden, whatever it is.
right. So then they're going to take that into account more, in my opinion, and go for the Xbox or whatever. And
Yeah,
so
I
I
agree.
think I think in the long run, it's actually better for the actual console, Xbox or whatever. I think it's better for them to have cross play.
I
There's
agree.
a lot less reason to go off to another console.
I agree. I think it is good for gaming in general because these developers you're going to see. I think if Sony, if this test doesn't work out with Fortnite
Hmm.
and they pull the plug on it, I think you're going to see developers not necessarily leave PlayStation, but they're going to not be giving the timed exclusives and stuff to PlayStation as much.
Right.
I think it was Tim Howard from Bethesda recently in an interview a couple months ago. I was listening to a podcast, and they
Hmm.
said that he came flat out came on and said, "Well, PlayStation doesn't like to play nice with others."
Yeah, well, and that was all about Fallout 76.
Yep.
Yeah, Todd Howard, and
Or
it
Todd
was
Howard, yeah.
yeah, it was literally we want Fallout 76 to have crossplay, but we can't right now because Sony isn't want to play nice with others. Literally just called them straight out. This was, I think that was actually, was it at E3 or was that at QuakeCon? Oh, QuakeCon.
QuakeCon, yeah, in September.
Yeah, and oh man, I saw that and I just died laughing. I mean, he just straight up put them out there on blast. It was great. And that's what we need. We need these developers to go to them and say, listen, we want you to put this out there and let everybody play it across platform. And they're still going to get the numbers buying the game. You know, it's one of those, yes, maybe some would buy it now on Xbox rather than PlayStation or vice versa because that's the console they already have or whatever. But it's one of those, they're still going to be more willing to buy it for whatever console they already have if they can play with their friends on another console rather than, and I'm sorry, you're going to be a lot more willing to say, well, I have this console, I want to buy this game, but I don't have any friends to play with, so they're not going to buy it. Or rather than to go out and buy a whole new console just to be able to play it with their friends. So I think in the long run, it's just better for them.
I agree. Now, what do you think is the next game that's going to get crossplay?
I mean, shoot, honestly, I think as far as like one that's not out yet, or
that could be. What do you think is the next title though? That's going to get it. And then we're talking primarily between Xbox and PlayStation because
yeah,
working friendly with Nintendo, and they all work with PC in some way, shape, or form.
I truly think that Fallout 76 is the big one. I mean, Sony's already said they are working on it. I think, what the whole Todd Howard thing, like we were just talking about, I think that really probably kind of put them to the fire. And it's like, listen, we got to get it out there. We really do. And so they're already said that they are. And I think it was because of that specifically. So what's the, most obvious next step is to get it for Fallout 76. But I could be wrong on that. I think a lot of that depends on how the reception of Fallout 76 is. Really, I mean, it's I'm kind of curious to see once it's actually launched on the 14th what really happens. Mainly because there's been some backlash to it, but we'll go into that more later. But if it sells like I believe it will, then I think that's going to be the first one that they really focus on.
Yeah, that's a. I didn't think about that one, but that's a good one. Max says Borderlands 3. Well, well, everyone may have crossplay by the time that game gets made. Heyo.
Right.
Anyways, my guess is it's got to be something that doesn't have timed exclusives, in something where the controls are going to be similar enough in the controller play where it's not going to make a difference, and it's got to be something that's really popular. So we've already got Fortnite. Do you know what's the top seller year in year out?
Well, there's Call of Duty.
There's one that sells better though usually.
Battlefield?
Internationally, FIFA.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that. I'm sorry, I'm not much of a sports gamer. I do like I have MLB 18 MLB the Show 18 or 18 the show, whichever aspect. But yes, I do have that and I enjoy it. It was fun. It didn't hold my interest a lot. It was good time and everything. I think if I got more into the multiplayer aspect of it, I probably would have played it a lot more. And that's one of those things is like they got to look at that is like if we can stay interested in a game through the multiplayer aspect of it, we're going to be playing it more. We're going to be more willing to buy the DLC and things like that. So and so yeah, I think I could see. I don't know about FIFA just yet. The other one I was just thinking about is Battlefield 5. It
That
got
could be one.
well, and think about this. It just got pushed back.
Yep.
I'm wondering if it got pushed back because they're working on getting the crossplay.
That could be. No one's really talked about that. A lot of people are saying it got pushed back because you had Black Ops and Red Dead. It was supposed to come out, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So.
Oh, really? I thought it was in like a week or 2 or 3.
Well, it is now, but originally it was supposed to come out in October.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that would make sense. And I think EA, they also make FIFA. I think with the backlash they've been getting the last couple years, that they want to establish some goodwill. So that's why I could see them go with either Battlefield or FIFA.
Yeah, I could see that. True.
And I also think with the sports games, I don't. It's been a while since I played them, so I may be wrong, but I don't think they really have the timed exclusives or exclusives period that you get from the other games. So that would make it easier to allow cross-platform because if say you get a new gun in Battlefield and PlayStation gets it 3 months before the Xbox, there's a significant disadvantage there.
Sure. Yes.
So,
very true.
And like I said, FIFA's so popular, especially around the world. Now, granted, the Xbox numbers internationally aren't quite that high, and FIFA is predominantly an international game. But still, you've got North America and South America, which have decent Xbox sales.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Decent FIFA sales. So, to me, I see that as a low risk, high reward game for cross-platform play.
Sorry, I got a moth flying around me.
No.
No, and yes, Mac, I see. You say again, Borderlands 3. Hey, I would love that. I would love that. Trust me, that would be amazing. I love Borderlands, but yeah, sorry, that's just unrealistic, man. You gotta have some reality to things.
You gotta have the game out first before you can even.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen anything about it. I mean, there's no screenshots, anything.
Yeah.
Not even a teaser.
Yeah.
What else?
But I don't know. Other than those, I mean, the big yearly sellers obviously are going to be the first ones. Like we said, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and that's another thing. I mean, with Call of Duty already out there, I'm sure they're that's one of the first ones that they've been starting to work with as well, trying to get the cross-platform to work. And since it's already been out just a little bit, and
it's doing well.
Right, it's doing well, and they've already had the updates to fix any bugs and stuff like that, make sure that the multiplayer works. It would be smart and to go ahead and try and to just update it into it. I mean, I don't know, because I mean that's a lot of coding and stuff like that. But sorry, what's Max saying? All the DLCs coming out at the same time, and the fan bases die hard, and the projected releases trying to get their heads.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Oh. But
again, Mac, until we have a firm release date, I don't think you can say it's going to be next, unfortunately.
Yeah. I see your projected release date. October 2018 to September of 2019. I think they're already kind of in that time frame a little bit. You're right.
We're 1/6 the way through it.
Right.
So, and like I said, we haven't even seen a teaser yet. But that, honestly, with the popularity of that game, Gearbox could show it at E3 and then say, by the way, it's on sale in an hour.
Right. Yes.
So.
But yeah, Last of Us 2, that's a good call. I didn't think about that one. I don't know too much about its multiplayer though.
That's a PlayStation exclusive, so that won't
Oh
That
yeah,
won't be
yeah,
that won't be on cross-platform play.
yeah. That that'd be nice, but yeah, yeah, yeah. No exclusive will ever obviously get
Mm-mm,
cross-platform play,
no.
but
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Our monthly
I
theme.
like that, Mac.
What do you
Sorry.
say?
He said if they said it was on sale in an hour after E3 Borderlands 3, I would find a way to pre-order.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so
Me and
our
Doug
monthly
decided to
theme
join
this
us.
month is top 20 licensed video games. Now these
Yes.
are not the 20 best. These are just some of the ones that we thought were the podcast group here that we thought were the most influential, the fun to play.
My dog wanted to say hi, by the way.
Well, hello. So why don't you start us off with the first one, Daniel?
Okay, so the first one, old school, of course, and a few of these are Aladdin. All right, if you are, of my generation, maybe a little younger even, Aladdin was the original NES, if I'm not mistaken, right? It wasn't
Super Nintendo and Genesis.
Okay, okay,
believe.
yep. You're right. And the platformer, I mean, just straight up and very tough. I mean, most of them back then just were known to be so difficult.
Unforgiving.
Yeah, very, very. But man, it was so much fun. And I mean, you gotta think, just like now, uh, just like now, the big games, a lot of the non standard yearly games, like Call of Duty or whatever, they try to take from something like a movie, book, or whatever, comic books, and I tell you, they did them right back then. You look at Aladdin was one of those. It was the graphics, everything just were so much like the movie, and just a lot of fun. Getting to go around hack and slash at all the guards and everything while you're running through Agrabah or whatever it's called.
You know what kills me about games that, and I had a couple others on the Super Nintendo that were these licensed games for kids. They were so unforgivingly brutal. Like,
Yes.
it was frustrating. Anyways, moving on to our next game, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game.
Yes.
This game was awesome.
Still is, actually.
It still is, yes. I had it. They ported it to the 360.
Oh, did they?
And I used to have it, but I don't think it's on the Xbox One. And it may or may not hold up, but it was still a lot of fun.
But you know what? It does hold up in the original arcade game, actual cabinet. Thank you. You can find there are the basically gaming arcade bars now around, and literally you go and of course they got the big bar in the center and everything, and then the one I went to, it's just surrounded by all the different arcade games, and you can play them for free. Like there was no quarters, no tokens. It was you go in there, you're having fun, and you're just playing these arcade games. And that was one of them. And I tell you, I've been to a few of them, and every one of them has that game, of course, and it just holds up so well. It does. It's awesome. I still love playing it, and especially if you have multiple people to play with. I mean, being able to have all four of the turtles get in there and go kick some butt. It's awesome.
That's what I say. That's key because that's not a very easy game, and you really want to have as many people playing as you can. But yeah, the game was so much fun. I spent so many quarters at it, and when I used to live in Portland, Oregon, I went to Ground Control, which is one of those arcade bars there, and I'm sure they had it there. I don't know if I played it, but I do remember that night my buddy and I played a NBA Jam.
Oh, nice.
The
Yeah.
one with the one with Larry Johnson and Muggsy Bogues. I just remember them when I was playing as the Hornets. So that was like the original NBA Jam.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
Ninja Turtles the arcade game is great. You know, they've released some Ninja Turtles games since then, and they
Mhm.
just don't hold up.
No, no. So often those types of games, I mean, of all of them, they try and remake the classics, and they just don't turn out right to me. And you know what? They're probably great if you never played the original, but having grown up with those, playing them, they just they can't compare.
No.
I want the original experience when I'm playing
Yep.
games like
Yeah, and I think it was Activision put one out 3 or 4 years ago that
that.
did
Uh-huh.
so poorly you can't even find it on the eShops now on PlayStation and Xbox. So
Nice.
yeah, maybe it was Obsidian. I forget who made it. Anyways, that tells you, that one wasn't a good one. But this is
Right.
a timeless one.
Oh, very much so.
All right, you want to talk about our next game?
Okay. Yeah. Wait a minute. Which one is next? Oh, okay. Actually, I'll let you do that one. I mean, I'll talk about it, but I like the Arkham games. Love
Yep.
the Arkham games. But I haven't played it enough to really delve into it. I have not gone and found all the secrets and stuff like that. So
Okay, sure.
I'll
Yeah.
let you start off.
Next up on our list is the Batman game Arkham City. This was the sequel to the, I want to say 2009 Arkham Asylum.
Hmm.
And Arkham Asylum proved a combat system and an engine and a gameplay system. Like it was more like a prototype, and they proved that it would work and could be successful for Batman. And they
Yes.
really expanded it with Arkham City.
Okay. And that's
And
that's the thing. I played Arkham Asylum more than City. There was something. I'm one of those, like, I get distracted from games by other games very easily. So I started playing it, and then something else came out right. So I
yeah,
jumped around.
yeah, I'm the same way. But yeah, Arkham City really took that proven method and
Hmm.
expanded on it and went to a much larger map, more to do,
Nice.
introduced more aspects to traversal.
Hmm.
It's almost like comparing Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2. Borderlands 1 was great, Borderlands 2 made it even better.
It did.
And
That's one of the few games, the Borderlands series, where I actually like the second one better. Like
yeah,
I don't know if I would say better, but I definitely like it differently, and well, yeah, no, a little bit better. Yeah.
it's got more polish to it. And that's what Arkham City had.
Uh,
Now, the combat in Arkham City and any of the Arkham games is so much fun. The
oh, it
flipping
is.
around. And I like when you get that last kill, how it kind of goes into slow motion. Not last kill, the
Yeah.
last knockout. And he'll
Right.
like do a haymaker or clothesline him. You can pull him in with a, what do you
Mhm.
call the grappling hook? You just
The-
pull him
Right.
in,
Yeah. Well, no.
clothesline him. But yeah, Arkham City was a really well made game. I
Mhm.
didn't play Arkham Origins for more than about an hour, and I want to. So I think I think it's backwards compatible now on Xbox.
Is it? Okay.
So I might try and find that. And Arkham Knight was good too, but I really think Arkham City so far was the best of the four that they've released.
Okay.
So
I'll probably have to give that another try when when I don't have so many games coming out. Yeah,
yeah,
there are a lot of good games coming out.
yeah, that's definitely a game that's on the back
Mm.
burner.
Yeah.
Now, next up on our list, I'll let you take this one, but it draws a lot of inspiration. It's another WB game from
Hmm.
Arkham City in inspiration in terms of the combat. So why don't you talk about
Yeah,
this one?
I can definitely see that. It's Lord of the Rings: Shadow of Mordor. Now, I have not tried Shadow of War.
Hmm.
I heard that it they did not do a good job of it comparatively to the first one, to Mordor. But I loved it. I absolutely enjoyed it. Played it quite a bit. I love the enemies, the arch enemy system. What's it called? Dang it, the
Nemesis.
Nemesis. Thank you. I love that. I think that was done so well. It makes you want to just keep playing until you can finally get revenge. It's like, man, these guys.
Yeah.
And the combat in it is just, in my opinion, was done so well. Just smooth. Never had any like that was something I was kind of worried about. Was well, you're trying to lock in and get the basically get that right combo basically going on and everything. And every time it was like just so smooth. In such an expansive game, I normally don't see the smoothness of combat. And so, like you were saying, kind of taken from uh, Arkham City, that style of combat and everything. It's great to see that developers have gotten it down so much better. Because to me, I can deal with certain things not being great in a game, like graphics. Hey, you know what? I can deal with graphics that aren't what we can like 4K and all this. I can deal with graphics being well, shoot, like I said, I love the classics, so I'm not huge on how it looks as far as that goes. Now, frame rate is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
But that was something I never experienced, was a big frame rate drops in that game. So, and even when you're getting swarmed by all of them, I just think they did a great job. Storyline was unique. Definitely definitely different than what I've played before. I mean, I know there's been other games I'm trying to think that have kind of the whole, spirit, separation, that sort of thing. But I think they did a real good job. And of course, it's, Lord of the Rings. So,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
that's what I was gonna say. I really liked that they took an existing universe and and some of the locations, but none of the characters,
right.
and still really brought you in, and like everything was familiar.
Yes.
It was not foreign. It
Mhm.
felt like, yeah, this makes sense. This fits.
Yeah.
They
Uh,
did a really good job with that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I mean, in all honesty, the storyline itself wasn't even the big part of the game. I
No,
mean,
it's definitely a gameplay heavy game.
very much gameplay, get the Nemesis system, all that. It just makes you want to keep playing, even if you never finish the storyline. You're still wanting to play and go, kill that, orc that just killed you, or whatever. It just makes you want to keep playing, and I'm okay with that. Some games that just gets like annoying. This game was like, no, I wanted to, and I had fun doing it because I knew, okay, I got this guy this time. Yeah, they did it. Yeah, like you said, it was a great job, and that's why I
It was.
thought it's one
It
of the top.
was. Yeah, and I liked that they integrated stealth in there too. Same thing with
Yes, yes.
Arkham City. For a while, I used to say Arkham City was the best ninja game around because that's
Mhm.
really was the closest thing that you know we had to like a proper ninja game in a while. But anyways, let's move on to our last game
Mhm.
of the list for this week. We'll finish up the list of the 20 top licensed games throughout the month. But number 5 on our list is a very important game for a lot of reasons, but I think mainly because, and people correct me if I'm wrong, it was the first successful multiplayer shooter FPS on console,
Yeah.
and that game is GoldenEye.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, I'm trying to remember if there were any real, I mean, true first person shooter multiplayer games before that. Because I mean, obviously you had like your Doom and Quake, but was Quake multiplayer?
maybe, but it was on PC.
True. Yeah. So we're talking. Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, if we're talking console, GoldenEye, I think, was the first of first
Or
person.
the first significant one, anyways, that like
Yeah.
had a big impact, and that people have fond memories of playing, and still will even play this date now.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the graphics and the controls do not hold up.
No, no. But you know
But
what? I would still get together with some of my old buddies and throw that in and have a one hell of
oh,
a time.
yeah, I'd love to.
Mhm.
I I played that game for about almost 2.5 straight months after in between high school graduation and when I enlisted.
Mm,
That's pretty much all I
right.
did all day, every day was play GoldenEye.
Man,
It got to the
dude.
point my friends called it George Wins.
Yeah.
I would just dominate. So
Uh-huh. Using Odd Job, I assume.
no, only Bond.
I had to give you a hard time. No, that's another topic. Is Odd Job a cheating? Using Odd Job, is that cheating?
Well, I think the devs from Rare recently said yes, yes it was.
Well, that's good to know. No,
Yeah.
see, Mac agrees. It is. Yeah, yeah, no. I was the I was the young one because it was my cousin was one of the ones I used to play with a lot, and I was one of the younger cousins. So it was like my brother, him, and me, and sometimes I don't know if my sister played, but anyways, we'd get together and we'd play that, and yeah, I being the youngest, I always had to choose last or whatever. So I did. I can't even remember all the characters. It's been so long, but yeah, I definitely was not that great at it then, but then I had a bunch of other friends and we would get together and play and all the same age. So yeah, we all had a great time. That we'd play that in another game, Smash Brothers.
Yep.
We kind of right about the same time frame, and we'd go back and forth between those two games. And yeah,
Yep.
just having a good old time.
Yeah, I
Good
had
old
a
screen.
roommate in the army that was talking a lot of junk about GoldenEye, how great he was. So I got my N64 set up, and I think
Nice.
5 minutes in, he wanted to fight me. He looked at me,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I told you, man.
Oh yeah. But
Think you're good? You're messing with Jorge.
that game really set the tone for first person shooter multiplayer games. It really did. Since then, just I mean, you look. I mean, Halo, the type of maps and everything.
Yeah. And
Early
established
on.
it as a viable
Mhm.
genre.
Yeah, very much so. And still to this day, I mean, even the controls to this day seem to be based fairly on it. I mean, it sticks to it pretty close.
Yeah.
So
And not only, people often have fond memories about the multiplayer. The single player campaign was a lot of fun too, and it stuck to the movie pretty well.
I
And
don't know if I ever played a single player campaign, only because I didn't personally own it.
mm,
So of course I'd be going over to friends' houses and we'd play multiplayer.
yeah, I had all but two of the cheats unlocked from it, and then one I think it was invincibility and invisibility, two of them
Mhm.
from the two of the later maps. But
Yeah,
it did a good job of following the movie. There were
yeah,
a couple additional levels, but it's just so much fun. It was,
yeah.
and I know they remade it a couple years ago, probably close to 10 now at this point for the
Right.
360, but I don't think it did very well. I remember playing it, and it I, it doesn't stand out in my head. So
Yeah.
coming through this list, I was like, I replayed it, and I think I looked and I think I had like two achievements, and I used to be
Mhm.
all about the gamer scores, so that tells you something. And
Nice.
since then we've had several James Bond games come out that have been phenomenal, but this one really set the tone.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Zero Dark. Uh,
Yep,
I mean,
Perfect Dark
or yeah, that's what I meant. Perfect Dark.
that
Um,
Rare made. Yep, that was another good one using the same engine.
yeah, I think
So
that one was good. I never played. They came out with the second one, I think, and I never played it though.
yeah, the 360 generation, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, but GoldenEye, yeah, just classic. It definitely is meant for this list.
Yep. All right, moving on. We got video game news, upcoming games. What upcoming games do you want to talk about, Daniel?
Well, obviously, we've already talked a little bit about Fallout 76. That one, it launches on the 14th. I've been playing it and love it. There's a lot of, it's gotten a lot of grief, but overall, definitely just excited to get to play it all the time rather than just during the beta sessions. That's rather annoying. But yeah, definitely happy for that one. Can't wait for you to start playing.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Yep.
I've pre-purchased.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on my list as well. Excuse me, upcoming games. We got Darksiders 3 coming out at the end of this month. And on the Xbox One, I'm not sure about the PlayStation 4, but I know on the Xbox One, if you pre-purchase Darksiders 3, they give you the remastered Darksiders 1 and 2 as well.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's on PlayStation as well. I could be wrong.
I don't know if, because PlayStation doesn't have the factory compatibility. I don't know what the deal is with that. So, but I'll look into it.
Good question.
I do know it's definitely on the Xbox One.
Yeah. Destiny's new DLC is out soon. Mac just said.
Okay.
So yeah, I loved Destiny 1, especially once the DLC came out. I've played a little bit of Destiny 2, but I haven't done enough, and I don't have, because it already had one DLC come out, I believe. Yeah.
A couple, yeah. They had Forsaken. Was the big one that kind of revamped it.
Right, and I haven't tried it since then, so I don't know. It's a good game from everything I've seen. I just too much else for me right now. But yeah, Darksiders, man, I've played both 1 and 2. Really enjoyed them both. So yeah, I'll probably get Darksiders 3, but it'll have to be after the holiday season with everything else coming out, unfortunately.
I hear you. And then, so next Friday we've got 1/1.5 new big games coming out. The Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee. They're more or less the same game, just have a different.
Right. Whether you have Pikachu or Eevee.
Yeah. And I've played a couple Pokemon games in the past before. This one, if it wasn't such a crowded time, I would probably be more interested in it. So I might pick it up in the spring. We'll see.
I'm the same way. Like I love Pokemon. Like I started playing back with the old original Red and Blue and all that. But I don't know. For one thing, it is almost like a remake of the original Pokemon Red, meant to have the controls are more like Pokemon Go, which I even play Pokemon Go sometimes. It's it's a pretty cool little mobile game. Because I love to go walk in the park. I hang out with my sister. Red and Blue are $10 on DS Digital. Nice. That's wow. That's actually really cool. So
yeah, the one I've played a little bit of Black or White, maybe like 15 hours. But the one I played all the way through was Alpha Sapphire, which is the remake of Blue. So that's part of the reason I'm not so interested in these.
Well, and I never did the Alpha Sapphire, the all that. I played dang it, what was the most recent one, the Sun and Moon.
Yeah, I had Ultra Sun, or I had one of them, and I never played it, so I just traded it in.
Oh, gotcha. I did play it for a little while, and I liked it. But I traded in my 3DS and all the games and stuff so I could get the Switch. Because I'm like, hey, why am I going to play this anymore? I'm going to have the Switch, portable. Yeah. So, and you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. I actually, it's funny. I don't really even play the Switch on portable very often. It stays docked most of the time.
Same with me. There are a couple games where and I was playing it handheld more during the summer. I'd have baseball on at night. So I'd
Uh,
have baseball on the TV, and then I was playing
right.
Hollow Knight, um, some of the DLC for Breath of the Wild, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
what's the other game I was playing over the summer on the Switch? Oh, Octopath Traveler.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I tried the I did play a little of Octopath. You know, did the demo, and it was all right. I couldn't get into it enough at the time to see spending the money on it. But that was also the same time that you told me about Hollow Knight,
Yeah.
and oh man, that's a great game. Oh, still have it downloaded on my Switch because I'll pick it up every once in a while.
Oh yeah, same here. And by the way, if you haven't played Hollow Knight, is
Oh,
already been out on Steam.
you
It's
just were breaking up there, Sec. What was that?
I said if you haven't played Hollow Knight yet, it's
No.
on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 now. It's already been in the Switch and Steam.
Mhm.
It's
Switch
definitely
is the
worth
way to go.
checking out.
If you have a Switch, though, get it on there. But it's portable for one thing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, well,
and,
exactly.
and absolutely no difference in graphics. So
Yeah, and all the DLC for it's free. And what's really interesting about that game, and I think I noted it in my review, for the most part, is only made by two people.
yeah, it was right. Yeah, I think you linked that to me that one time. So yeah, that's amazing to me that two people can make such. It's not a small game at all.
Oh no, no,
I mean,
it's a
it,
large Metroidvania.
I never actually even finished it. I'm bad.
No, honestly, neither could I. Um, I got it right before Octopath, and I got by my estimations from what I read online, probably 85% of the way through it. And the platforming just got too difficult for me, and then I had to play Octopath. So
Well, and see, this is my problem. It's not that it was too difficult. It's not that I got bored with it or anything like that. I'm telling you, I have gamer ADD. I have to switch between games. Like there are very few games that I actually even beat most of the time. I mean, you look like obviously recently there's God of War, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. I did beat all them, but for the most part, I mean. I've played, and this is the funny thing. Well, one of the issues I have is like I go back and I play the same games multiple times, uh, and start whole new characters. See, that's the thing. I can't just pick up a game that I stopped playing a while before, like say Skyrim. If I'll pick that game up constantly because it's pretty much one of my favorite of all time.
I would say
Uh,
every time I turn on my Switch, it seems like you're playing Skyrim.
right. But yeah, so Skyrim's one of my favorites, and I've beat the majority of that game. You know, I mean, I've beat the main quest line and like a couple other quest lines. You know, like the Dawnguard DLC stuff like that. But I've never beat everything. Obviously, that's almost impossible in my opinion. At least for me, it is. But the thing is, every time I take a break from it, even if it's only for like a month or two, when I go back, I have to start a whole new character. I cannot just pick back up where I was. It just doesn't work. I'm like, wait a minute, what was I doing? What why do I have this over here? Why am I in this armor? And it's like I have to start all over again. So I struggle with finishing games. It's just the way I am. But there are some games, and that's why the oh dang it, what's the one that's been compared to God of War recently? That just Spider-Man. Never mind.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the one. I really would love to get that just because it's the type of game that I could probably finish.
Yeah, you can do if you do just a story, you could probably do it in 15 hours.
No, I can't just do story either. I'm sorry. I get distracted. It's like I'm walking down the road. Oh, I'm going to go, assassinate so and so. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
come on, I have to.
I think I did. I got the platinum on it, and I think I put so
You put what?
the about 32 hours into it.
Oh, nice.
So
Very cool. Yeah, that's not bad at all. See, that's something I could do. I almost I was at I can't remember. I was at like 80% or more on total completion of God of War. That game, I'm sorry, that's just one of my favorites of the last year or so. But there are a couple other games I wanted to mention that are coming
Yeah.
out. Well, I already mentioned Battlefield 5, and now that I've gone and played some Battlefield 1, I'm really considering it. Like I said, this is a very busy holiday season, so it might have to wait until early next year or something. But the one I already have pre-ordered, this is the Fallout 76, and then Smash Brothers Ultimate. That
Yep.
one, I'm telling you, like I said before, that I started on the original Smash Brothers, and I cannot wait for that one. I mean, and they just released the trailer for the story mode in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
It started as Kirby.
yes. And did you watch it?
I did not. But I heard about it.
Oh man, and there's in one scene where they're all getting turned into spirits and everything, and you see you see Sonic, right?
Yeah, with
He's
Pikachu.
running and everything, and all you see is he's reaching back trying to save Pikachu, and it's like, oh no.
It's pretty sad.
Oh man, it was rough. It's like, man, I loved it though. It is, but it just they did it right this time. I'm really happy with now. I love Nintendo, yeah, obviously. And been a fan, that people can call me a Nintendo fanboy all they want. I don't care. I have issues though with their online, like I still, but I paid for the yearly online service from them.
Yeah.
It was like $20, and I tell you, I can go back and well, one of my all-time favorites, Mario Brothers 3. I get on there and play it sometimes, but for one thing, the app, the phone app to chat and everything. Come on, people. I mean, obviously, you can chat straight through a headset and everything through the controller or whatever with on Fortnite. So why do we need to have the app for everything else? So
Now, I talked about this in a previous podcast. I don't know if you heard, but I've got a really good theory as to why.
uh-huh.
Battery life.
Okay.
Running the chat through the system, especially in handheld mode, is going to drain a lot more.
Yeah. I mean,
more rapidly.
I definitely see that. I mean, and also, this is something that I've experienced. I'm telling you right now, the wireless card in it is weak.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with.
I sit within 10 feet of my router, and I never get full signal.
Right, and so then so you're struggling a little bit with that connection. That's why you got to get that LAN adapter for it. So then like you were saying, so you try and then add the chat into the network and everything through it. It's going to bog down that network as well. So that'd be another reason why.
Well, and there's rumors of the updated Switch coming out next year.
Yeah.
And I could see it being a possibility if they're going to improve things like the Wi-Fi and stuff like that.
Right. The one thing I worry about is that if they try and do too much, they're going to have to make it bigger. And
well, but keep in mind, components get smaller though too.
You're right. But they've actually talked about making the rumors, anyways. There's been making the Switch Mini, which would be weaker, is what they were saying, and then the Switch XL, which would be stronger. But then, really, at that point in time, I'm sorry, it's not portable. I mean, it's a laptop.
I wouldn't mind it being a little bit thicker. I don't need a bigger screen, but a bit thicker would be okay.
Being a little thicker would be fine, but once you're talking about making it longer and taller or anything like that, then I would definitely have issues.
Get a Surface.
Right, exactly. Which actually I have right over here. It's like, it doesn't make sense, but yeah, those are my big ones right now that I'm really looking forward to. And just for you, Mac, yes, Borderlands 3. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot, and this is something that needs to be put out there more. They haven't been putting it out near enough. Rage 2.
Yeah,
It,
when does that come out?
it's spring, I think April. Or actually, you know what? It might be January. When that comes out. Let me look.
See if I can close it.
Because I tell you what, Rage 1 is so underrated. It did
Underrated.
not get near enough attention as I think it should have. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, it's pre-order. It doesn't have the date. Where's the date?
Not
Come
up
on.
on the PlayStation Store.
Right. Well, we can rage it up together, Mac. Yeah.
One game that's coming out, and I posted some news articles about it that people may want to check out is Left Alive.
Left Alive. That sounds familiar.
So that Left Alive is it's got the director from the Armored Core series and the model designer from Metal Gear. It is published by Square Enix and it looks awesome. It's coming out March 5th on PlayStation 4 and PC, and I cannot wait for it. That is the game I'm looking forward to the most next year.
Okay, Left Alive. I will definitely have to check that out.
There's a couple
National Nerfer of the Week.
there's a couple articles on the Alpha Nerds Guild blog. So
yeah.
All right, well, we got a couple minutes left, and we just want to mention John's stream is going on right now. He's got the nightly stream.
Okay.
Spartan Armory is streamer of the month.
Awesome.
And Mac is Nerf Rogue. He is our Nerfer of the month, or Nerfer of the week. I'm sorry. So yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good to me, man. Yeah, everybody make sure you go check out John over there.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you again next week.
Absolutely. Have a good one, all.
Have a good one. Live